Here are some NBA players that I believe will probably get traded soon. Tomorrow's the trade deadline, so of course today is a great day to try to make some predictions of some trades. There's already been 3 trades: Simone Fontecchio to the Pistons, Xavier Tillman to the Celtics, and Monte Morris to the Timberwolves. We'll be covering that tomorrow when I'll be making a full video on every trade in the season/trade deadline. But honorable mentions before we go to the video, we got Quentin Grimes from the New York Knicks, D'Angelo Russell of the Lakers because he's been doing pretty good lately, Harrison Barnes of the Sacramento Kings. We have Alec Burks of the Detroit Pistons, Pat Connaughton and Cam Payne of the Milwaukee Bucks, Miles Bridges of the Charlotte Hornets, Tyus Jones of the Washington Wizards, and finally we have Jeremy Grant of the Portland Trail Blazers. All these players are either smaller players. PJ Tucker is also there, but smaller players that I won't cover in depth, or players that are unlikely to get traded but have a really little chance, and there's been some rumors about them. But first, let's talk about the first player we have, which is Dorian Finney-Smith of the New Brooklyn Nets. Dorian Finney-Smith has been a great player, especially on defense. He is commanding 2 first-round picks right now, averaging around 9 points per game on 38% three-point shooting. He could shoot from 3, and many teams are interested in him, but you have to pay up because the Brooklyn Nets are, want to trade him maybe, but they are giving a high price for him. Spencer Dinwiddie is another player that might get traded from the Brooklyn Nets, who might do a fire sale. Next, we got Bruce Brown from the Toronto Raptors, who just got traded already from the Indiana Pacers. Bruce Brown is another likely trade candidate because of his kind of not fitting to the Toronto Raptors rebuild process now. And some teams interested are like the New York Knicks, as well as the Los Angeles Lakers. He averaging 12 points per game in the season, solid defender, and last year proved that he could help as a role player to win an NBA championship with the Denver Nuggets. So a great veteran for a contender. Another candidate for the Raptors is Dennis Schroeder. Andrew Wiggins from the Golden State Warriors. Wiggins has been struggling this season and has taken a step back from previous seasons where he has been the second option on the finals team on the Warriors and a great player last year. He's been averaging 12 points, which is kind of low, and 31% from the three-point line, not that good. But some teams believe they could resurrect Wiggins' career and trajectory, and he's still a solid defensive player who could be a alright role player. So the Mavericks are interested, and the Milwaukee Bucks are interested in Andrew Wiggins. Another trade candidate is Chris Paul, although unlikely because he's injured, and the Warriors believe he's a solid bench player for Curry, and they might not even make a trade, although struggling. Next, a little bit more unlikely, but we got DeMar DeRozan of the Chicago Bulls. DeMar DeRozan has been in talks for trade because he has not signed an extension, so he'll be a free agent this year, averaging 22 points per game. Solid playmaker as well as a solid scorer. DeMar DeRozan could bring a third option for contenders. Some teams are interested, but it's highly unlikely that the Bulls will trade him because they might want to stick with this group again and give DeMar an extension this summer or sign and trade in the summer or something like that. Another trade candidate is Alex Caruso, but he's also unlikely, although there's so much interest in him. Next, we got the Detroit Pistons. They have already made a lot of trades, including Monte Morris, Simone Fontecchio, and Marvin Bagley trades. But another trade candidate is Bogdan Bogdanovic, although another player that's a, a little bit more unlikely. Boyan has been doing really good this season, averaging around like 20 points per game for the Pistons, and he's a really good veteran who could help a contending team win some games. Great scorer, 41% from three, and many teams are interested, but the Pistons asking price is high. Another player, as I said before, Alec Burks. New York Knicks are interested in Alec Burks. And yeah, let's go to the Atlanta Hawks, where we have DeJounte Murray, who is probably the best player on the market that is kind of clear he might get traded. Now, it's like a 50-50 probably if he gets traded. The Lakers are kind of interested, but reports say that there have been dried up lately, the talks, but they'll probably revisit it. The 76ers might be interested, as well as the Milwaukee Bucks. But right now, Lakers are the most interested, and DeJounte is probably nearing an end to the Hawks. They want to probably rebuild around Trae Young. So some other veterans on the Hawks like Clint Capella, DeAndre Hunter might get traded as well. Next, we got the Hornets with P.J. Washington. P.J. Washington has been underrated this season in the Hornets, who have not been good, but he's been averaging around 14 points per game on solid shooting, and he's been a player that many teams want, especially the New York Knicks and the Dallas Mavericks has been interested in P.J. Washington. Another player that have been rumored is Miles Bridges, who is rumored to have interest from the Suns and the Pistons. Now, Miles Bridges has been all right this season as well, but he is a free agent next year. So the Hornets are probably trying to make a big rebuild, as they are probably doing a fire sale, already trading Terry Rozier. Gordon Hayward and Kyle Lowry are two other veterans who might get traded or bought out, as well as Nick Richards. Kyle Kuzma from the Washington Wizards is a player that is not too likely to get traded, but many teams are interested, including the Dallas Mavericks, who are probably the most interested because they need a power forward. He's been averaging 22 points per game and has been on a championship team. So Kuzma could help a contender like the Mavericks again. Now, the Wizards' price for him is at least 2 first-round picks, which is kind of a lot for Kuzma. So they might not get a trade, and the Wizards are happy to keep Kuzma. Another player on the Wizards that have a lot of trade value is Delon Wright, who might be a good backup point guard for some other teams. We have the Indiana Pacers with Buddy Hield. Now, the Pacers already made the Pascal Siakam trade, but Buddy Hield, although has been fitting really nice with the team, they have a lot of guards that are good on that team, and he's been starting to get less minutes. So Hield averaging 12 points, a sniper from 3, around 40% in his career. 76ers are interested in Buddy Hield, as well as Bogdan Bogdanovic, and Buddy Hield could help their shooting and stuff like that. So he might get traded as well. Finally, we have Malcolm Brogdon from the Portland Trailblazers. Now, he has been a really good point guard this season, averaging around 6 assists and 16 points per game on 41% three-point shooting. So a great point guard with a good shooting percentages. And he has been on many contenders before, like the Celtics last year. And he could be a great backup or starting point guard to a contender. Now, it's not as likely that he'll get traded because Malcolm Brogdon has been happy with Portland and believe that Portland gave him a good chance. And Portland as well do not really want to trade him that much. He's like a leader to them, so he probably won't get traded. But there's a little chance he might get traded to like a team that wants a point guard, like the New York Knicks. But yeah, that's basically it. Some players that might get traded. Thank you guys for watching. We're out.